In today's live coding, I want to prevent deletion of an entity that has other entities depending on it. So I have this Fulcro form, or report actually, and when I click on this here, I want the entity not to be deleted if something depends on it. And I have kind of done it partly. Sorry, that was not the one. But right now, when it happens, I get error like this, which is not really what I want. I want to show the user the list of entities that depend on it and give them the option to delete it. So what I have currently is I use the red form delete, which ends up calling the delete middleware here. And I edit my own middleware, which checks for it being used and returns form errors if it's being used by something. And here actually I might want to include that else as well. Like this. But yeah, I don't want to use form delete because I want to get the data back. I want to use them in some way. So I thought the best way to do that is to have my own delete mutation. So I have made a function which essentially just calls this middleware because I want, no matter what you do in the UI, I want all deletions to go through the same pipeline. So it takes environment and ident to delete and just calls middleware, giving whatever the data it expects. And this I started on the mutation. So this is what normally would happen on the server side. When you click on it, the entity is immediately removed. Though actually I think I don't really want to do this because it also removes it from all the entities that refer to it. And that would be hard to undo because I don't know what they are. I would need to collect that information and that's too much work. So let's not do anything, let's make it pessimistic. I say remote true and I will need to change that because I want it to return some data to me. And finally, I won't need this because I always get an OK. So I will have an OK action. I'm not sure what exactly I get back. So let's start by printing it out. And later, I'm sure I want to do this if everything's fine. Right, I'm sure I have state in there as well. I think it has, no, the opposite S. And yeah, I guess I have result in there. I can, yeah, I will see it in the tab. So this won't be needed. That looks fine for the front end side mutation so far. And on the back end, so I check I got an ident and then I call the delete entity function. And at this point it returns whatever that thing returns. So let's check what that is. Yeah, so it just returns whatever that mutation returns, which is not really what I want. I want to check for errors and do something about them. Right, so let's we have form in here. We can start. Yeah, the indentation here is annoying. I have to figure out creatively what I want to. So I have these, and it would be form errors and delete middleware. I'll call it again. Dependents. when it's okay, I don't want to return anything. I could just check these ones, I guess. Then I want to return something, and I will need to declare what it is. Now I don't need, because hopefully PCO def mutation is smart enough to figure it out. So I guess I want to return something like some kind of entity which represents the list of dependencies, and then I will have, I guess I could simplify this, right? ID and list, which will then have the dependents. Or maybe I just should be consistent in my naming, like this. And let's see. I guess I could just try this out and see that it works. But I need first, the mutation needs to declare what it returns in here. Otherwise, it won't really return anything. I will need some component to display the data being returned. So let's see. UI, I could make shared. Yeah, I can think of a better name later. Enough, so let's steal from here. Oops. Too much. Let's just put something in here for the time being. Okay, and so we might have to display this for different dependents, different entities. So it needs a unique ID, and that would be that's what we have in the mutation, right? Right, dependencies ID. So we need to ask for the ID, need to ask for dependents, and currently this is just list of IDs. I think that's fine for start. I might actually want to have the component information about the entity that has these dependencies as well. Let's start simple and verify that stuff actually works. So I'll only start with the ident. Later we will want to join it or something to show its name or something like that. And then we want to map. let's make that a list. Need some key, and so this is an ident which has an ID, and or I could just stringify it and think of something better later. So I think that looks fine. And now I want to use this in my mutation, or actually maybe not. Yeah, I guess let's make it simple for the time being. It kind of feels wrong to include UI file in the model files, so I could make RC component for that, but let's not overcomplicate it now. So it just gets the ID and the dependent, so it's exactly this thing. So here I can say that the component is returning the component needs. So that looks fine. It should be now returning stuff, and I invalid. Where is this source? Okay. Alright, it's like this. Yep. This should be fine. So now let's see, everything compiled, nothing complains. So now I want to actually use this mutation. We go to platforms, and we have my model here. Would be nice with some auto competition here. So that would be the row actions from delete. So I want to transact mutation. Is it complaining? Oh yeah, that's just Kondo doesn't understand the difference between, or yeah, I could make it happy if I do this. Yes. And the mutation needs ident. Which would be this. Okay, I'm not sure. I did some changes on the backend, I guess. Let's restart just to be on the safe side. Insufficient input. Sections, handler body. It needs a body, but I used comment, so in the reader comment. No, sorry, it was here. That should be fine. Yes. So now when I do this, nothing happened. Yeah, let's see. So did we fire the correct mutation? Doesn't seem so. Yeah, we did. I'm not sure, I didn't see there. With our delete entity, and we got back form errors, right, and the dependence, which is nice. And this I don't like. It means it's actually a lazy sequence which is turned into list, and that doesn't really, well, Fulcro handles that now. I think we fixed that, but it shouldn't be done. So let me fix that. If I go to the delete miller, we got it here from, yeah, so just let's turn that into vector back. We changed something the parser is using, so we have to restart. And now if I delete everything, here and here, I could also check console, there's nothing going wrong. So if I try this now, I should see. It's interesting, why don't see any transaction here? It's really weird. But I see it here. And I get back a vector. Awesome. And let's see if it ended up in the database. So it would be, I have not put it anywhere specifically, so it should end up in dependencies. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just not put into database at all. But we know, yeah, maybe it somehow relates to the fact that we don't see anything here. That's weird. So I transact a mutation. I know that works. It gets to the backend. It comes back. I see an error coming from it, but actually the error is not what I don't expect it to be this error, right? Because actually my delete entity should be returning either nil or a map of dependencies. So it shouldn't trigger that error that we see popping up. It should not. Oh yeah, sorry, it's rad form delete entity. It's not my delete entity. Maybe that was not a good idea to give it the same name. Let's rename this. Select entity. Alright. That explains it, but have I done something wrong in my form? I don't call delete. Is it the, that's the correct form? I can check that. So if I go here, I can just reload the whole application to be sure. So I also want to see the label. Yeah, that's the correct label. So let's clean up everything here and here. Yeah, now we have the save delete entity. Good. And returns nothing. Why? So something somewhere is not the way I expected it to be. Let me check, I guess, in the mutation. So the indentation is screwed up. Or actually, I can use the trick I learned from Tommy. server side, which is exactly what I want, but that also means I need to reload. So now if I do this again, and I get also some logging into the into the helper function, right? I guess it's fine. Let's try it. Read entity, and it returns form errors. It returns dependents. So I get back what I expect. So I should. What is wrong? Is my structuring wrong somehow? Let's try it again. So forgot this. Yeah, it's in the wrong place, of course. Load. And going through this repeatedly, I should just make a REPL function so I don't need to go and click into the UI. It feels very old timing. Right, so that looks fine. So let's check the destructuring I'm doing here. Right. Should I actually hit like this? Yeah, that's the problem. So it thought the prefix is delete middleware and not yeah. So that should be fine now. Can we clean this up? I don't really use this one. So let's comment that out. So invite token. Yeah, because I don't have form in here. Don't want to require it because I don't really use it right now. So let's just turn it to the full name, and that should compile fine. I can reload, and now invalid keyword delete middleware. Right, because this only works on this. No, wait. Do I not? I do include delete middleware, so that should be fine. It's enclosure only, but this is enclosure only as well. Why does the front end see that? No, okay. Does not anymore. So let's clean up the transactions and networks so you can see clearly what's new. And we got back. I need bigger screen. Yes, we got those guys back. And if you look into the DB Explorer, dependencies ID, and it's here, and we have them there. Awesome. So now we can display them, I guess. Let me think about that. we would need to trigger a pop-up somewhere, so some parent entity would need to show that, and I want this to be available for any form, so I guess I just make it at the top, right? And I'm not really, yeah, so I have the list, but I want to put it into pop-up. I don't remember how to do that, but I know where to find it. Not this one, entity picker. One picker, right, and I can just too much. No, this is yeah, right, this is the one I want. UI form model. Where does that come from? It renders a form, so that's not really what I want, but I want to see what it does. And it comes from models, so that's something I want to use. Not model, I want my UI, of course. Refer to something. Form model or UI form model is what I want. Nah, not form model. Yeah, okay, that's I have to go one level deeper. UI model. Right, so I want these two guys. Let's see how we use them. Let's do this thing. I guess, yeah. Let's separate that. Have dependencies list as a component, and we will show that inside model. I can change it later, but it feels simpler as something to start with. Yeah, and I guess we will have a cancel, and start with cancel only. Makes sense. I won't have any form. I don't know what arcs I will need. We'll find out. Open true. So what's happening here? Yeah, we don't really want to use form state. Yeah, so we will need to do something else. Right, this generates unique ID for the new thing, but we don't need it. We have already ID. That's ID of the thing that we want to delete. So let's see how this would work. Would somewhere have something like when something, you would want to show this. Let's run this now. Yeah. that would be in the root essentially. So I have to think out what will happen. We have the mutation, so let's say it will trigger some global display. So it will set on something like UI show depth is true, and it will also need to tell it what. Yeah, show depths 4 might be better, and that would be an item. So let's say order ID 1, 2, 3, and then root checks that, and it finds out. Then it knows it should display it. So if when show depths 4, right, and then it also knows what the ident is. And from that we can go to database and to dependencies ID, ident, and then there is dependencies. Did we call it again? Dependents. So that's how we get the stuff to display. And we are asking for here, so let's see, we will need to change this. Let me check, actually wrote about it recently because I don't remember a thing. I'm here. Yep. Let's go here. Right. Yeah, there's a hooks used component. Yeah, it's our resolution. So what does it say? We say I don't remember the details of this, but anyway, let's look at use component. Come on. Fulcro hooks, yeah. Has hooks. Component. Do we see, yeah, something like this, right? So let's see. So this is our root, and it uses some kind of container, which would be our model with use component, and then it, in our case, it shows the list. So we need to see the creation component. Use component here. This creation model, which is the thing being contained, right? Yeah, and there was a problem when it was not static, I remember. No. Ideally I would like to have this list and some. That doesn't really work because this is not a static and it's complicated. You can read the blog post, so we have to think about it a little differently. So what I could do is when the mutation returns, let's go there, here, in the result. Yeah, I actually wanted to see what we get back here, right? So let's look at it. Oh, come on. Do we have past ones? No, they got lost. Awesome. My code is broken, so I need to fix it. So let's comment out all the broken things. That should be fine. Let's see. Error. Invalid keyword delete. Oh, so we have still that. Yeah. Let's bypass it in the same way as we did up there. That should make compiling running again. Build completed. I can reload this and I can reload the application. Ah, now it's here. Interesting. But doesn't really seem to work. Yeah, let's just do it from scratch. So I click on this thingy. Okay. And I get back component dispatch ref, which is the form that triggered it result. Right, so we have the result. Mutation AST. That's really what came in. If I look at the result here, and its body. Let's see. We are in here. Result. No. Body. Entity. Actually need to have in result entity, and from that we get the data we are after. Right. Or yeah, what I actually want to have now is I want to know if there was a problem, and I want to guess if we just use join or something. What if I just if I want to do it manually, I could do something like this. Right. Or maybe first verify that what I have so far works, and from that, if I look at dependencies ID, I wanted to copy it. No, I can copy it from here. Dependencies ID. Dependencies ID. And this is CLJS, so I don't need to write anything. I can just go here and try it again. And see that I have an ident here. Yeah, exactly. So now I could go and so in the root I want to put I propose to call it. I propose to call it UI show depths 4. Let's see if that works. Maybe look at the Explorer. Hopefully, yes, it's here, and I can click on it. And oh yeah, that's something I haven't thought through well enough. Yeah, because I actually want something a little different, right? I want to say this is what I want. So once more. And now when I click on it, I get here. So it means I have a global thing, global link to data I need. So now I could go here and so now I kind of can have now our sensors think of better name later. Yeah, no. Or I could just cheat and let's see in the root. Array. I can query for this. Just be explicit. I don't really think we need this, but let's be explicit. And if I just have it like this, it would be just data. I need to have a join. Right. And the join should be onto the dependencies list because that's what it points to. I already have that record here. I put it in here. No. Okay. I'm fond of copy paste. I see I need to think more about what I actually want to do and how best to do it. Here. And UI keys we have there, so I can just this is one. When so and just let's right, and I get it back here. Dependencies ID and dependents. Yeah, good. So for that, so okay, so this works. So in theory, I could just actually yeah, let's cheat. Just see if that works, right? Try and give it this. Objects are not valid as React child route, so I do something wrong here. Maybe that's something in the dependencies list component actually. Console. Yeah, it's in this component. So what did I do wrong there? Here. Classical mistake. Now it should be still not. Right. React child. So it would be here as well, string. Here I have just strings, here I have strings, so why are we complaining? Let's see, maybe just yet. Right, it doesn't complain anymore. But yeah, I guess I do not reset the error boundary after error. I see that's a problem. And of course, reloading loads of data. So I can now delete this. Right. Yep. And I want it to be model instead. Shoot, I need to go in a few minutes. Okay, but we kind of have what you want. It's not the UI I want yet, but we will get there. So I will stop for now and see you later.